welcome to the NACL update. First off, a reminder that you can grab tickets for the NACL finals, which will be live at the Riot Games Arena on August 9th. So make sure to grab one for you and maybe that special song. By the end of this week, we will be down to 2 teams in Challengers League, and they will be competing live in the Riot Games Arena. Now, to commemorate that, we've compiled some of our team's greatest hits so far.
Now that's what I call LCS Challengers. 6 of the greatest names to hit playoffs this summer, including smash hits like Take This Team Down the Lower Road, King will God till he can no more. Unforgettable summer bangers like Team Liquid Challengers.
Coming in first place. I seen it was a waste. Lower bracket run. Ooh, ooh. Team Liquid get it done. Ooh, ooh.
And don't forget,
TLC, you're the thing of me. Have you heard of stuff about a Patreon?
the hottest season of NACL ever. Don't miss it. Order now and get That's What I Call LCS today.
All of our playoffs are being played on patch 13.14, and early on in the patch, we have noticed a few picks that are stronger than others, including one tree that you certainly don't want to hug.
And remember, kids, only you can prevent forest fires. Wait, Maokai, what are you doing here? Ah! Oh my god, Maokai is 100% win rate in playoffs with 10 bans and 5 picks. He's on a rampage. Somebody stop him! Never mind what I said before. Get some fire, grab your axes. We gotta chop down some trees. Ah!
The pressure is on for the lower bracket teams, so to check in with them, we have on-site correspondent Mazel to see how high the stakes actually are. Mazel, can you read me?
Well, Cubby, I can tell you the stakes are higher than ever.
Can you give me an estimate of how high the stakes are right now?
Well, lower bracket teams only have 1 life left, so yay high?
Any indication for how high the stakes might get?
Well, there's no end in sight.
Well, keep me posted. Until then, guys, that's been it for this episode of the NA Talent Update. Thanks to all my friends who helped out. And until next week, may your week be filled with positive gaming experiences.
Welcome back, everyone, and welcome to our Rally Cry halftime show. Well, we get to chill a little bit before seeing if Evil Geniuses can knock TLC out of the lower bracket, out of the tournament. It's a fun game, and Breezy, you got your first cast on the channel. How are you feeling about that?
It was a good time. It was exciting. I'm glad both teams played pretty well, so it's easy to go with the flow and give my input, but it was a really good time.
Were you jealous of watching Game 2 of last series? Did you wish you had had the chaos of that, or are you happier with, with this one?
I'm much happier with this one.
Good to know.
A little bit more atypical, but considering the players on these teams, not necessarily too surprised, but great win, honestly, coming out from Evil Geniuses here.
We highlighted the draft compositional differences, the win conditions for each team, and that big Baron swing into the Dragon Soul Deny felt like the nail in the coffin. Team Liquid, they were in it until that moment. I think props to EG. Breezy, you were like, I love this play when they were going for it, because you're forcing the poke comp to walk into you when they're not set up to actually land the poke yet. And EG was able to get that Baron and close out pretty cleanly.
Yeah, I think EG knew their win cons really well. It was a pretty impressive game from them.
Yeah.
It's so good. And now, while we wait for the teams to get squared up and get into our next draft, well, I thought it could be a good time to bring back Scholar Kangas, and then Breezy.
Do I have my... you asked if I had glasses as a prop. Oh, here they are. Here they are.
You got him?
It's Skalangus.
Hey, yo.
Okay.
There we go.
Yo,
These are
let's
very
go.
dirty. I can barely see now. They're also not prescriptions, so this is just...
All right, but
right now.
you got to take them off because Breezy's actually doing the first presentation. So, sorry, Kangas.
You just hand them to me.
Just getting a headache very quickly there, so I'm happy that I don't have to wear that for too long.
Perfect. So, how this is going to be working, friends, is I've made up PowerPoint presentations for both of our wonderful casters. They, however, do not know what the presentation slides are made of. And I'm going to have each of them pick a topic for the other one. So Why are
Okay.
cats better than dogs? Why is League of Legends the best game ever made? Except, of course, tie it to these two teams and everything they're going through right now. So, Kangas, I'm going to have you pick a prompt here for Breezy to do a presentation.
Okay, so any prompt that I want.
Yeah, make it a good one. We want to be
Okay.
kind.
I'm gonna go with the simple one. Breezy, I don't know if you're aware of this, but we like to joke about this pretty much up until last split in spring, where it's kind of proven false, because first seed did make the run. But first seed is traditionally kind of cursed. Actually, it might be second seed. I might even be misquoting. But we're gonna go with first seed because it's funnier. Why is first seed cursed in this playoffs?
Oh, goodness. All right, so here we go with our presentation. Thank you so much, production. And Breezy, take it away anytime.
Well, I think this goes pretty well with the problems. Why is first seed cursed? Well, you know, there's a lot of underdogs, a lot of sleeper teams out there, like EG. They just always there's always a few underdogs that always make their crazy run, and the first teams, I don't know if they get too confident. I was actually on
wrong button, guys. Wrong button.
Okay.
Keep it going.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first place teams like TL, maybe they're just unaware of the danger that is out there, like EG. Like maybe they just came in too confident, and they're the ones that are about to get preyed on, and they're not actually the prey.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, when you're an underdog, you just have to call them out on Twitter. Like, there's nothing else to lose, you know? You got nothing to lose. You call them out before the game, call them out mid-game. Like, Jojo Pion just tweets mid-game, call them out after the game. Just, you have to. And then that's the first place team on the left, the little cute little cat.
Oh, yeah, look at how confident they think they are, right?
Yeah, getting patted down. STL
Yeah.
getting patted by EG. Then
This
EG's
is-
actually the bigger cat, but they didn't even
Ryoma
realize
just
it.
yeah, you're okay. Harry.
Running it down, and then the first place team, when they fall behind in all these years, they don't know what to do. Like, they just start running it down. They've never been behind, and then playoff hits, and they're like, what do we do, guys? And they just panic like this little frog and say help.
I did tiny little help on the nose. I didn't even see that at first.
Maybe they need to play like, I know Tom Kench isn't a frog, but Tom Kench, he'll save the first place.
Frog adjacent.
The first place team, yeah, basically.
Okay.
Not
Not
bad.
bad.
Presentation on why first place teams are cursed.
So, because they're not the main character in the fairy tale, right? I think that was the general theme here. Is like they're the Gaston. They're not Belle. Yeah. They don't have the beast in them.
My question is, though, if this is the curse, is there any way that they can break the curse? Is there like, or is this just destined to be at this point?
That's
True
up to
Love's Kiss?
TL. If TL wins these 2 games, they'll break the curse. That's my guess.
Just win. Just win. and the curse
Just
will
win
break.
these two. Just win these 2 games, and they'll win the whole tournament.
Yeah.
Simply just be better. All right. Well, now, Breezy, it is time for you to give a prompt over to Kangas.
All right.
His presentation on this.
All right. I was kind of had it pre-planned, but I guess it's like the reverse of yours. Mine's gonna be like, why is EG going to win NACL?
Why are they going to win all of NACL? Well,
All
I'm
of
happy
it.
you asked me that question,
All of
Breezy, because
it.
it's been on my mind for a while, and I actually put together a presentation for you to really highlight the step-by-step process. Now, this is going to be a 10-step process, if I counted the last slides correctly. I'm just kind of hoping that these are actually 10 steps. Let me walk you through one. Number 1, picking your draft by throwing darts at a board. So a lot of people assume that there's a lot of prep that goes into draft. I've worked with Kelsey Moser enough. I know that that's just not how Evil Geniuses work. She's let me know the secret. They just kind of throw and then just let whatever lands be what their prep is going into it. And that makes for an exciting match, man. I mean, the fans go wild. Woo! The middle one is usually the coach watching the games. But everybody else is like the people just enjoying the show because it just causes so much chaos. But when chaos is on the board, you all know that the opponent is also likely to mess up. If you're comfortable with it, you're comfortable with it. And also just by being the GOAT. I mean, come on. Come on. You think that one member of the 2Change roster can't beat 2? Well, that one member was Armeo, who did the heaviest lifting all of last year on Team Liquid Academy. We all know it. We all know. Why are we even skirting around the subject now? Harry Bradley, no shade, but just saying. What is inting and do I int? These are the questions that every now and then, when you're trying to make that championship run, you need to stop and think about. And that's also what EG does. They think about this in the game. When they see a moment, they say, do I int? No. And then, it's the important second part now. I don't know if that's going to be on the next slide. I hope that that is actually the next slide because that kind of leads into that point. Well, I was on a roll there. Losing the 2v1. This is also in teens. So sometimes, you got to limit test. You got to push the boundaries of what you're able to do. And then you'll learn from it. You do all that before this point in the tournament, though. So losing the 2v1 happened in the past. That's been the lessons accumulated up to this point. But it is still very crucial lessons to learn. Next point. We have Cubby. I don't even remember the moves to this. It's like, oh my god. I don't know. EG is going to win first place because we made some banger content about everybody except for them. Oh, wait, no, we did. We did. They were the first one. We had the King Kiting. Take me down to the lower road. Well, that's why, because that was the funnier bit than this one, which was just us dancing. We curse the teams usually that we make content for, but I guess not EG this time around. Did we make teams for those three? I'm trying to remember now who the last one was. That was it? That's it. That's my presentation for how EG is going to get first place.
All right. Well, I gotta say, with the presentations, I think Breezy won on this one because he didn't just dead stop halfway through. I'm sorry, Kangas, but
look, you threw two at me I was not expecting. One of which was my own setup for it, which didn't work. The second one, I take no responsibility for.
All right. The real question, though, Kangas, from your presentation, do you int?
Do I int? Oh, all the time. That's like my specialty. Yes. Just ask anybody who's played solo queue games with me. That's where that whole bit from last series was of like the watch this moment.
I'm just checking. But hey, at this point now, all going back to Breezy's presentation, there is a chance here that Evil Geniuses can beat Team Liquid in this next game and send the #1 seed out of playoffs.
I think it's going to be really interesting to see. I think either team can win this series, either team can win this tournament. I'm excited to see what's next.
I'm happy that you hype up that level because Team Liquid were first seed. They are the team from regular season that was the best coming into this event. Hasn't necessarily played out that way, but it just shows how tight the competition actually is in this tournament. Only 8 teams came in compared to last spring where we had 16. Very different level of competition right now.
Yeah, I've always kind of thought throughout the whole year that anyone could beat anyone, and now it's kind of really coming to show in the playoffs, and I still think that holds, especially with these top 6 teams that are left.
Yep.
100%. And now, as our draft is ready, and we'll bring Cubby back. I'm hoping this is the time where we can see the dance moves combine. If not, hopefully just a banger game 2 in this series. Have fun, guys.
Thank you, Sierra. We'll bring back Cubby on for Draft. Breezy, I'm going to have to put you through this. I need you to put your hand up like this, and then the other hand out like this, okay? Are you ready? And then Cubby, you're going to join me?
No, it goes on the hip, all right?
No, it doesn't. It actually doesn't.
Other hand.
It's like a hand down. It's like that, and then you swipe across, and then you put that one down. Cubby, this is the reason why your moves were... Oh, okay. You know what? On second thought, let's not show this live on broadcast. Maybe.
Well, you don't want to see the hips? Come on.
Yeah, they don't lie, but, some I don't trust those ones. EGC on the blue side, Team Liquid Challengers on the red. Same side selection this time around, and let's see what EGC decide to go because they will not have that Alistair this time around.
Oh, okay. That could lead to a different start of the draft here, Breezy. You think we lead off with Rel now?
I think they might actually. I mean, they don't want to give. They better have answers Tristana though, because Tristana is a pretty high priority pick for both these teams though. So I think that's what they're talking about now. And nope, they're still gonna go with this Tristana.
Okay. Tristana locked in early, so same answers from TLC.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this makes a lot of sense, but we will not have that Alistair counter into the Rel this time, so maybe higher chance of it going to the Kim down than last time around where we were kind of thinking it would go to Mir last second.
I want to see EG just take Ivern again here. Like, it just looks so strong, and it's also just a very strong pairing with Jace as well. So it's not only good for them, but it also denies the enemy team.
Nah, this is. Oh!
Okay.
I thought it was just a hover to get in their heads, but they actually lock in the Nocturne. Why pivot from the Ivern? I loved the look of it before.
Maybe it's how it synergizes with Alistar. Like, Ivern and Alistar has really unique synergy, because if you ever went that route, then you can pretty much find a free pull, and then you can follow up with a headbutt. So I think that's one thing. But now, it does prevent a Ziggs pick from coming in. It's really tough to play Ziggs in the Nocturne.
Ziggs,
curious to see what
Jace,
they're
Poke
picking.
combo will not be around anymore, so maybe TLC go for something a little more action-packed here as they lock in the Draven.
Blind pick Draven into Nocturne. I respect that.
That's a tough game to play.
This is a
yeah.
decision.
Yeah, there's not really going to be peel for Draven unless they do put that Rel in the jungle. We do expect Rel to be in the hands of Kim down. And frankly, I think Rel Rakan's a pretty playable matchup for Rel. There's a lot of ways you can cancel Rakan.
Sure.
We did see Winsome actually play it pretty well, I would say, earlier in the day, Breezy, because he was able to find some grand entrances that actually cancel the crash down of Rel, which is pretty difficult to do.
Yeah, my perspective on the Rel matchup is I like Rel into Rakan, except with Xayah Rakan. Like, that one's a handshake, but just Rel into Rakan by itself without Xayah is pretty easy matchup for Rel.
I will say the Draven, even if we're calling it blind because that Tristana's probably going into the mid lane, theoretically, hear me out, if a Nocturne jumps onto you, does the Nocturne actually win that 1v1 if itemization is even? I don't know, but I could imagine maybe the Draven just blows through you.
Yeah, maybe, but he's always gonna have Smoothie right by his side. It won't just be Nocturne by himself. But I think Draven might be able to take him out 1v1.
Okay,
so cleanse, you just dodge out the fear.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised that we actually saw an Ahri ban, because if I'm TLC, I would have taken away Ziggs plus Kai'Sa, because Ziggs with Rakan is a good combo. And again, this Nocturne Ziggs combo is something that, I really want to credit you guys with, Breezy. You guys were the first team that really ended up playing a lot of Ziggs plus Tristana. Ziggs is really good in the Draven. You feel great in that lane.
It is, yeah.
And also, I guess if Ziggs was knocked, then that would have been Ezreal likely for King, which he plays really well. But it at least would have made sure that TLC had a winning bot side. But Ziggs can actually contest pretty well. As oh boy, it's just going to be CC overload with Draven. Yeah.
I won't be surprised if King goes with something like a Seraphine or a Ziggs here, something that can just farm versus the Draven and try to peel. Any other standard AD is a little bit hard.
I would love Seraphine. I think that your
Seraphine would be
ability
great here.
to sustain the poke of Jace and also just kite out the Rel plus the Viego. Seraphine's so good in the Viego. So I would love to see Seraphine.
Yep, there it is. Yeah.
It was banned last game, and it's locked in this time around. Evil Geniuses Challengers are happy to put King onto the Enchanter because it counters a lot what Team Liquid Challengers draft is trying to do, and they pair it with the Jax. So they have another carry on the Rift still, and they can play through top lane now.
All right, if we want to get crazy, you could put Jace in the Jax. It's not an easy matchup, but it is playable. I still expect this to be in the hands of Harry, but it would open up something like a Kali or a Silas for Harry that could be rather big for TLC if they want to swap things up.
I think they're already happy with the Jason's Tristana matchup.
Yeah.
That is what they chose to go into that. So instead, they'll go with the Gragas here to answer the Jax.
EG is just going to be comfortable this game farming and scaling. As long as they don't explode early, they're happy. Bot lane matchup's pretty, you would think Seraphine versus Draven's not great, but it's actually a good matchup for Seraphine. She's just farming, chilling, and just getting into that teamfight stage.
Big key, utilize that early TP to get the Lost Chapter. We'll see if TLC can break that. Really interested to see what the first move from Veer is going to be, Breezy. Any ideas before we let you go? What the game plan would be with Rel and Viego? Feels like they have to make plays.
They have to stack dragons here and try to maybe look for an early bot dive if they can chunk them. It'll be hard to dive bot, but I think just dragon stacking is important for TL. They need this to win this game.
You expect Armeo then to match the clear top to bot likely?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
He's gonna cover the bot lane dive and then just make sure they're fine.
Yeah.
Well, that's Breezy's insight. Thank you, Breezy, for joining us for Pick and Ban. We'll let you get some rest here and watch the game on your own while me and Cubby bring you through the action, everybody, because this is do or die for Team Liquid Honda Challengers. One loss and they're out of this tournament. The first seed would be gone very early. Evil Geniuses feeling fantastic about the start of this series. One more win, and they continue to face off against FlyQuest Challengers.
Oh my, it is PTA on Arrows Draven, so that early game dive going to be very likely, I think, from TL.
A lot on the line, a lot of pressure here. So let's take another look and listen to Kim Down, who we sat down with yesterday to talk about what it means to play against Armeo.
I think they know what kind of plays that he will make for tomorrow, but I think first of all, I think they really want to beat him. then I think they don't want to lose against him. So that's really good. And I hope that's like all of our teammates' goal for tomorrow. And yeah, we'll just show what we can do, put everything into it. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, Bradley and Harry won both of their championships last year with Armeo at the helm. And, of course, Revenge, I'd say friendly rivalry. There's a really good relationship between those three, but kind of a fun toe-to-toe as they now get to face off against each other. Both Harry and Armeo, I think trying to find some redemption here in Challengers. I know that Harry, I think, has been playing with a lot of confidence. He said, hey, Challengers is actually a lot better this year. He was pretty surprised at the level of competition, so... with that said, I think Harry has been head and shoulders above the rest of our mid laners, and honestly, they're really going to need Harry to step up again in this game. They want to at least make sure they can move forward.
Kim Down was mentioning they feel confident that they know the moves that Armeo is going to go for. They know his Nocturne. Are they ready for what his game plan is going to be? We talked about the jungle pathing, so I want to touch back on that because it is actually going to be the mirrored pathing towards bot.
It was called out by Breezy, the likely hover on the dive from Armeo's Nocturne. And this Nocturne, back when Armeo was actually in the TL camp, they had a positional coach, Inori. And honestly, the two of them and Blabber kind of wrote the guide on Nocturne. This pick goes way back, and I think it's a pick that has actually been played really well by a lot of players. But those three specifically, again, Inori really contributed to just really what the meta is on Nocturne. Was even something that when he subbed in when Armeo went overseas to train with TL for Worlds in 21, we saw them playing. And we'll have to see if they can beat it today, as at the moment we have actually Mir hovering mid, as they do get the rocket jump out of Ryoma. They don't find anything, but a little bit of pressure going over to Harry in that mid lane matchup.
Does put Mir slightly behind the clear, though, because he does spend time to go there. Crucial time early on, where Armeo's now up full 2 camps on him.
Yeah, he's late to the dive now, so that pit stop mid really does keep the Seraphine safe. You can't dive as long as Nocturne is on this side of the map, so maybe that's what thought process was from Mir. But King's fine at the moment. And the key in this matchup on the Seraphine, when you do start with a Mana Crystal, you're trying to farm out your first 4 waves and then have a Lost Chapter base. So Arrow did get the 3rd wave in. He is going to reset. Going to be another longsword for him, and Kim going to use this window to pressure Ryoma.
Yeah, he has flash available, has the rocket jump, and successfully jumps away. So Ryoma's just like, all right, well, they really like me, I guess. two different members have come into my lane early, and I guess just didn't realize I am Tristana. I can just kind of jump away from these.
A decent attempt there from Kim. He was trying, like, once the rocket jump starts and gets out of the channel time, trying to find the stun in midair and ground Trist, not able to be found. But now that rocket jump is down. So if they push now, they could find something.
See.
Wow.
Ryoma still hovering to the correct side of the river, though.
Armeo will stick his head in, drop a ward on the Raptors. They can continue to track Mir, but Mir's going to get that super clear, as he did start with the AoE camps. And Armeo actually now going to be spotted making his way up towards Bradley. Bradley's playing very far back, as he is now on a weak side duty in the Gragas. So overall, TL don't find the bot die, but they do get ahead a bit on the map, as Mir will be able to cycle out those second camps a little bit more quickly than Armeo.
Now, as the first reset comes in from Harry, he teleports it back in, has the tier picked up now. Oh, no. All right, we're not going to even mention that tweet right there. I want to highlight the fact that Team Liquid, when their backs are against the wall, when the draft gets a little wonky, they will be relying on Arrow here on the Draven, the most veteran member of this roster, to step up and get them across the finish line in this game. I want to stress more of how impactful and how important a Draven can be if you get that snowball rolling. And they're just flashing in, going all in onto King. Well played by Smoothie to delay Arrow, though, and they are just not landing enough damage. That's heal used by Smoothie, but that's traded for Kim Down's flash and Ignite.
EG showing a good understanding of this bot lane, as King, again, as long as they keep that Draven down and deny that first cash-in, that's the big one. And we have seen Arrow's, I mean, this is an iconic pick for Arrow, right? This goes back to the KT days, the P1 days, as Arrow...
The wild card days.
Yeah, still able to play this to a very strong degree. But, man, this Draven's been stalled. And at the moment, King gonna match the reset. And yeah, it's the lethality early on for the Draven, but as long as King is able to survive and is gonna have a lot more sustain with the tier, synergizes really well with Seraphine. Things are going to be fine and dandy here for the EG bot lane. So overall, I don't think the TL haven't done anything significant the first 6 minutes of the game. Their comp gets outscaled as this game goes on. So I think that making sure they hit these dragon timers is going to be really important. And they should get that first dragon from themselves here off this bot wave push. You can see Amir following down. So TL playing the map well. This is a good macro from them. This will not be contested by EG. But still, like, is it enough? That's really the question for TL right now. And at the moment, my answer is no. They need to get that cash in on Draven.
They're starting the dragon stacking similar to game 1, but we saw how things went for there. EG played a very clean setup around objectives. This is not a guaranteed lead for Team Liquid where they say, okay, no, we have the win condition of the dragons. You got to execute after that fact. In Armeo, 2 games in a row, you know, dragon's taken. Well, you'll just take away the Raptor camps. He's focused on his own levels, his own gold. And props to Mir for catching up after that visit mid lane, but once Armeo does hit level 6 on the Nocturne, that's when things start to open up for EG and they can actually start to look at plays. But still, they're comfortable to really just kind of chill. They are not pressured to be the ones to make action happen with this comp.
We'll see if they group up for that first Rift Herald, because while I breezy the identification, of course, that you can chill as a Seraphine, correct, but your level 6 is also really strong with that Encore. And if they do take out Mir early on, because that's the real key. TL, they're team fighting, they try and get Mir that reset. I think if they take the Viego down early and lean on the Seraphine's W to keep them sustained, get through some of the poke, that could be really good for EG.
I think a big burst could work out well for them with the Rel, with the Gragas. Catch out a pretty squishy team. Yes, they have the sustain, they have defensive tools, but they don't have like a frontline tank, somebody who can confidently just walk in and check brushes. So if Team Liquid can get there first, as they are right now set up around the Herald first, could be a big move for them.
Arrow's going to drop this bot wave, so it's going to hit the turret. He's basing to join this fight, and look at how Smoothie and King move. There is a control ward that King's about to move out. Smoothie actually went around it, but the control right now really strong for TL, and I don't think EG can get in here. They're going to have to drop this. So well played by TLC. They set up the map correctly to cash in, and Smoothie, oh, that's an errant face check.
Big catch onto the Rakan. First blood for Bradley.
Oh.
Encore goes wide, but the Paranoia will get the kill traded. Support for support.
Okay, the Encore did go wide, but it did force Cam to step down. They were able to take him down, but the objective goes to TLC, so they get what they came for. Is that 1-for-1 trade? Support's going down. Honestly, not all bad for EG, but TL does have a bit of a lead now. So this is really where we're going to see how much they can get off this. Because, again, this game doesn't get better as time goes on for TL.
Elmo 1v1 in Harry right now as Harry shoves him back. You're right, the game doesn't get too much better. Let's get another look back at what just happened there, because Team Liquid do find themselves a solid play.
Yeah, I mean, Smoothie saw in that pixel brush, he sees Mir hitting it. They don't spot Kim or Bradley, so there was some vision. I think that he should have waited till the plant was hit, actually, by Surdy on the top side to check. But he had 6. He leached it off the wave, so I think that's when Smoothie thought, hey, this is my chance to go, but that's too early. Wait for his team to make sure that they can actually get some more info, as the vision plant was hit by Surdy right after Smoothie died. So that's a little bit of miscommunication there from EG, and can't make mistakes like that in a series. I mean, this is playoffs, this is best of 3, this is do or die, and TL is a great team. They were our top team for the entire regular season. And yes, EG got the best of them in game 1, but this is a team where really when they are at their best, it feels like you cannot make mistakes like that against them because they get so much out of it.
This time around, it's just the Herald. They didn't really explode too much more onto the map, but you are right. More often than not, they will turn that into multiple advantages. So I'm curious to see where they want to put that Herald next to look for that lead. There is a sizable CS differential in the jungle. Mir has been jungling very efficiently here, while bot lane, King actually finds himself with a lead. Bradley just pushes Surdy out in the 1v1 right there. Surdy does not want to get Explosive Cast back. So let's see if Mir wants to try and cash in more gold onto the Draven. I wouldn't hate the idea of dropping that Herald to get plates bot lane.
I think it's going to be about using that Herald to actually open up this dragon. They did take the first dragon like 30 seconds late, pretty much on time, given what the comp wants to do. As King will burn the ghost, get that TP back, as he had that off cooldown.
And the Unseen Spellbook, actually.
Yeah,
Just
Arrow's
noticing.
sitting on a lot of gold. And I think that's, again, the key. I'm curious if EG even fights over this dragon, because if I'm them, I would seed it. Any kill that goes over to Draven, at the moment, you know, this is a game where you're looking to bend, not break, right? And the kill to Draven is really how you can break the game in favor of TL, as Arrow will be going for that Trinity Force Draven. Buffed up on this patch as your first few autos hit harder with the changes they made to the passive. So, Arrow, see how much you can get out of this.
Important to know. Oh, nicely played by Bradley there, knocking Surdy back under turret to tank 2 shots. Surdy will prevent Bradley from going all in. Yeah, doesn't want to flash forward for anything crazy, but nice little trade there. Surdy is about half health. We'll have to go for a reset. Does have a window here to teleport to that dragon if EG want to fight this. King already did TP down for Pryo.
Nice play, though, from Bradley, because what I think is going to happen is that Surdy's going to TP to that top side to catch that wave. Oh, okay, never mind. That wave didn't get all the way in. Okay, it did. Surdy's just going to sack it. So that is the one sign they might actually think about playing this dragon. Personally, if I'm Surdy, I actually would have TP'd up there. I know that you add a TP disadvantage, but that's quite a bit to drop in a matchup where you're trying to win on the side lane. I think he's saving that TP, though, for when he hits Divine Sunder, because that is the spike where Jax can start to push and maybe have solo kill threat on the Gragas. So Surdy's sacrificing Golden XP there to make sure that he can get back and utilize that Sunder once he secures it for as long as that duration is to really push the window of power that he has then.
And it does make it harder for TL to just go for the dragon, but they're going for Smoothie here. Trying to catch out the support yet again. Ignite is down, heal used by Smoothie, so Summoner Spell's traded. EG do have a setup, and look at where Surdy is. He's positioning under turret. I believe he was looking for a TP ward potentially, but that's going to be EG going for the drag.
And that was 2 ults for none. Smoothie was just able to sneak out of there with the E, and with the Seraphine being grouped, that second dragon, so that's big that EG are able to deny the stack. It's a team that has to scale. And TL realizes they got to push.
Yeah, they will not get the dragon. Armeo flashes over the wall. Teleport was completed. Again, with the lights out. See King not landing the encore, but no fight to be had. EG are happy about that. They get the dragon, they get out of there. They deny the stacking. Flash from Kim down onto Ryoma. No rocket jump available. Pops the OK, pops the flash to dodge the explosive cask. And EG get away with the objective.
I mean, that's huge for EG because it just buys them 5 minutes later in the game. At TL, yeah, they burned 2 ults to try and pick Smoothie. That would have been a free objective, but not able to connect all their abilities. Smoothie sneaks out. TL then are down tools to fight with. Mistake from TL as they overinvested into the Rakan and they got punished.
And an incredible turn of events here when we talk about Team Liquid often, whether it's this roster, even last year's roster, the one kind of thread between them was their macro game. Their ability to play the map and set up and commit to plays. That one felt like they weren't sure if they were going to commit to it or not. Teleport coming in a little late. And they go approach the dragon a little late. Like, it just feels like they're just a few seconds behind these big plays.
And that's critical. These are mistakes that we really haven't seen TL make, but also I haven't seen a lot of teams punish them. As it has felt like a lot of our teams have grown throughout this split of challengers. But really, I mean, the story for this, TL, they were our top dogs all season, and the entire season on the flip side for EG, we're kind of asking, like, hey, this team has all the individual talent. When are they going to come online? Armeo coming into this roster, I mean, I don't want to, like, give full credit to him. I think a lot of it's just them getting used to both Surdy and Armeo, but this team is playing really well. And, you know, you incorporate Spring into this, too, where TL were really scaling throughout that split as well. It feels like TL has always gotten the best of EGC, but now with Surdy coming in, with this iteration coming together, it's finally EGC that are looking to push our top dogs to the limit, as the second hero will be traded for bot outer. And the gold's still relatively close, with EG having the big scaling advantage in the Seraphine.
We're still happy, yeah, with the item breakpoints for EG as they come on. They're just going to feel more impactful the more items they pick up. King has had that Leandries for a while. Now we got Ryoma, Armeo, Surdy all picking up their first items here. They bought themselves out of 5 minutes with that dragon take. We're already 2.5 minutes through that till the next startup. I think the game plan for Team Liquid, I imagine, is the same. Just be like, well, hopefully we can get the next 3 dragons. I don't know if you're of the same mind or not. They haven't cashed in on Arrow yet. He hasn't died or lost any of those stacks. Maybe it's instead just try and go for a fight and get him ahead.
I think 3 items, again, is the magic tipping point in favor of EG, because that's where you got to expect Ryoma could have that BT to really sustain some of the poke from the Jace. Has the Shiv at the moment, so he will have a Pryo and match in the side lane. Keep in mind with that Nocturne, You have a Jax and a Triss. This Nocturne can always attack side lane. So TL, they're going to want to overextend. On either of these sides, a lot of when objective downs for them are going to be about identifying where the Nocturne is at so then they can actually catch these waves. Because Nocturne's fog, EG can at least bluff or threaten that they always have Nocturne in their back pocket if they can spot mirrors. So game of cat and mouse right now for each of our junglers as Nocturne going to be very important to keep tracked, especially when objectives are down. As we get to free side lane play, I mean, that's gold in the Jax, gold in the Triss. They can each break the game as this goes on through the side.
Anytime it comes down to a situation like that, I'm looking at junglers and supports then. Kimdown getting that vision lined up so that it's kind of a different position, almost more like a Zac in a way, where you don't drop it where the jungler would traditionally walk in from. You have to put it a little further where they would trigger the ult from, so that way you can see them ahead of time. Makes it difficult, because that means you got to go into a more dangerous territory. It's not an easy position for Kimdown and Mirror to be in, but I like that they're at least linked up together right now. We have seen jungler and support at each other's hip for the last few scenarios here, last couple of minutes. But we haven't seen that vision line placed yet. Dragon's up in 45 seconds, and EG control the vision in the river. Team Liquid only have their control wards on their side of the jungle.
Sturdy going to try and push for this with Demolish Proc. He's able to secure that turret for himself. 30 seconds till the Ocean Dragon is up. Sturdy does have that Empower TP, but he will have to reset before he can join the map. Does have that Divine Sunder. As Second Herald is timed with the Dragon spawn. He dropped away before, so it will be the crash in the mid outer going to TLC as they're going to use that to get river priority. EG fighting from behind. And because they picked up that last Dragon Kangas, they can't afford to drop this one and wait for their items to come online.
I mean, just play to Bradley. Look at where Smoothie, look at where Armeo are. Bradley has no turret here, and EG say, we don't need to fight for the Dragon. We will just try and catch out the Gragas. Bradley tries for the outplay, but who's outplaying whom? Sturdy flashes over to the other side of the explosive cast. Do they have enough damage? Bradley is out of there, not taken down, so that is a Dragon for Team Liquid. Really well played from Bradley to not give anything more to EG.
Really well done. Of course, these two guys familiar with each other. Surdy being in the TL org with TL first and also being a sub for TLC this summer before he joined EGC. Familiarity. Bradley saw that one coming a mile away from Surdy, other top laner in the org. And then, of course, his old buddy Armeo. Able to sneak out of that one. And that does get TLC 3 objectives. So now 2 dragons for them. So we're the 5 minutes. Given they took that second dragon for EG, very critical. Because I think this comp, once it hits 3 items, gets very scary. So again, TL right now, they have 2 Trinity Forces completed. Harry's sprinting towards that Miramana coming up here. He actually did lose his flash off screen.
Yeah, no, he lost that bot lane. Ryoma jumped onto him, tried to buster shot him. Harry was able to flash away, so he's not underneath the turret. But yeah.
It is something a Nocturne can punish. My eyes are really on to Harry now, because Bradley has a lot of ways to get out of a gank from Nocturne plus Jax. Gragas actually feels really good into those 2 champions in the side wave in terms of catching pressure. Jace not nearly as much. So now I think the big red X on the map is going to be for EG attacking Harry.
Nice to see Harry also realizing that, pushes away bot and then immediately walks to group up with the team. Not interested in pushing out further, despite the fact that you could argue he would be comfortable in the 1v1 against Tristana. You can never assume it's a 1v1. They do have that vision I was talking about now, though. Team Liquid can spot Armeo. They see that he's going to path towards top side of the map, and Team Liquid are grouped up here. Not going to go for anything crazy, though. Even if they did find an engage, find a play, they're not going to get much more afterwards. Smoothie jumps over. Ryoma is his ticket out of there.
You can see, though, TLC, they've carved a nice little pocket of vision in that bot river for themselves. They were able to kind of fog in and out of, so at least EG are under threat, but still, they have to respond to these side waves that EG are pushing, and this is the game that you play when you play three waves. Is, you know, how much can the enemy team get when your solos are showing on each side? And EG, well, Rakan's a slippery champion. Seraphine has a lot of defensive tools. This core 3, really strong for EG. Armeo can go attack the sides if they see too many members of TLC. So, again, EGC playing this out really well. A team that we really feel like has come together. And they're proving that in this one, playing out the map and their comp very cleanly.
Stepped it up big. They had a rough start. Soul in the top lane to start things off for them, and then made the decision. Walking away from the game, Surdy steps in and starts playing for Evil Genius's Challengers. Already from that moment, even though they had, I believe, 2 0-2s in a row when he first joined, turned it around and have been looking better ever since. Armeo even further bolstering it. This could be a very deep playoffs run for a team that we always hoped would start showing us what their potential promised. Now they have been showing us what that potential promise. They're pushing Team Liquid to a very uncomfortable position.
FlyQuest are strong in front of them, but I feel like each of these teams focused on the business now, and still in my eyes, this is an even gold game, but that Draven just caught how many stacks he has in the bottom left. 460, so that means a pop would be around, I'm not too good at live math, but honestly about 1,400 to 1,500 gold bonus in his pockets. So that could be a big difference in accelerating this Draven, who has gone for the Serpent's Fang second. Of course, Seraphine, Rakan, lots of shielding that you can give over to the team. So I expect Harry to maybe pick that one up third again. As Draven, first kill, will be pretty much a full item for him if he is able to get it. So focus for TLC. Yeah, focus for TLC, 90 seconds away from this upcoming Dragon.
Because I will say, with the Nocturne, with the Tristana, with the Rakan, the tools that want to jump onto a Draven, you also have to play very respectfully as Arrow. He did take the cleanse, so in a 1v1 against Armeo, I don't know how the math works out, but I could imagine a world where Draven actually could win that, but you're just never going to be in that 1v1 like Breezy was talking about. There will be a Smoothie behind him. There will be a Ryoma behind him, even a King with an Encore that can pass through. Follow up from very long range. Arrow has to play very respectfully, because if you cash in, that could be your ticket back into this game. If you get shut down, I know it's weird to say shut down when you don't have any kill participation, but it would feel like a shutdown because you're going to lose those stacks.
You see Surdy, he's going to be going for that Hull Breaker, whereas the Nocturne, Black Cleaver on the menu for him. I think you can see each team basing for this Dragon spawns, this TLC. Going to put some of their resources in that top side to try and yoink EG towards them. As EG is their weight on this play. They've yet to hit the Baron, but I think their goal is to pull EG into them and get them out of those side lanes. EG not falling for it, staying disciplined. They're going to reset late on the top side. TLC don't really have position over this Dragon.
Yeah, and now EGC are going to walk up. So Dragon is not the focus. It is not the magnet. The magnet is Baron. EG will answer. They're grouping up together, 5 members strong. They have 2 items on King. The Seraphine is really close to that 3-item breakpoint where you were saying the game's going to be almost over at that point.
It's a lot harder. It still is even hard now, but King's the focus. See if Bradley looks at all. Rylai's is really big for King in terms of controlling space.
Okay, it's all away from the Baron now. We don't want to play with that toy anymore. We want to play with the Dragon. Flash forward from King. Encore onto 4. Arrow is safe, though. He's onto Armeo. He's feared up. Has used the cleanse early. And Team Liquid are already rough in this fight. Kim Down's out of there. Traded for Armeo. But the rest of EG are healthy enough.
Draven's out, and this is the difficulty that TL has, that they cannot set up the poke from the Jace, which Seraphine can even sustain through. EG can take the all-in. Yeah, they trade out the jungler, but the health bars are so good. You have a Seraphine to top everyone off. EG takes the Dragon, denies Soul Point, and TL continue to run out of time.
I cannot wait to watch that replay. Armeo turns the lights off. Here it is. Watch what King does.
It's going to be an encore flash from King. He is spotted over the wall.
Boom!
But, yeah, was able to catch 3. The Draven wasn't able to auto at all. He burns the cleanse, then has to flash away from Armeo. Was feared, and EG, they picked the fight on their terms. Mir was never able to really follow up that setup that we have seen earlier in the day from these Rel Viego comps. That wildcard ran successfully against FlyQuest in 1 out of the 3 games. But you don't find those engagements on your terms, Kangas. We have seen it get pretty hard, and again, TL, they're running out of time.
Arrow did not die, still has the stacks, but crucially, he did not cash in. And that is a 4th Dragon on the map. 2 to Evil Geniuses. Smoothie might get caught out on rotation right here. This could be huge for Team Liquid. Locking him down, no flash available anymore. And that is a pick for Team Liquid right around the Baron.
Arrow was trying to get that huge shutdown, wasn't able to obtain it, but still, that is a kill. TL can use this to draw in EG to them, and they will do so.
Paranoia available, Encore available. EG can still look to push them off, but they will have to do it as 4 without their Rakan. We follow up engage, and they're not grouped together. Team Liquid are, but EG have done the work. I mean, they pulled Team Liquid off of the Baron.
Nice bait, good discipline from Surdy there. Had the Jax, plenty of escape to get out. It was a good angle, a good bluff from Kim. EG staying disciplined, not over-committing into the river. So it's only a kill on the support. And now flashes are down against a Nocturne comp, Kangas, and that can be dangerous. So I think EG, they're going to look to see if anyone overextends on a side. You can see Harry, he doesn't even think about touching that side wave in the top lane. Needs friends before he shows, as he, again, is flashless against that Nocturne. And yeah, you can see Harry, anyone who is flashless in a side lane, they need a support squad if they are going to show, given that it is a Nocturne game, as Kim going to dismount over the wall. Bradley going to get a little bit of chip damage.
Nice
Here we go.
root. Now he's engaged on. Bradley does not have the backup from the team. He's caught out of position and taken down. When the lights go out, it is so hard for everyone else to follow up on you. And while I like the initial play, Team Liquid now will have to approach this Baron fight without a top laner.
Hey guys, this is our 1 seed. Looking at falling, EG have played a brilliant game here with the Seraphine. Mirror, can they keep him out of the pit? Can Mirror even get in?
Look at Kim Down's engaged. He's going to have to find something massive here. Harry's trying to get the poke over the top. Surdy playing goalie right now. They're onto the Baron. It will go down into the pit. Stolen by Mir! Keeping Team Liquid in this game. The miracle play. We're not done yet.
Mir takes his team out to dinner again. The Turbo Baron buff is secured as TL yoinked that one away from EG. Huge play from Mir. That was so necessary in just keeping them in this game, as Evil Geniuses did everything right, getting the pick on the Bradley, but they didn't keep Mir out of the pit. Mir punishes.
What a 50-50. I was watching Surdy. I was sure that he had Mir. I was sure that Mir could not get into that pit, but he makes it in anyway. Watch this.
Oh, he buffered the buster shot from Ryoma to get in the pit. Kim Down also flying space for him. Mir goes down a hero as TLC at least take the Baron away. That will help them get some gold back in their pockets. They have a couple outer turrets to get through. You see the gold lead even now in this game. Dragon's even. And importantly enough, Arrow has yet to go down. So all the stacks for Arrow are still on the table and available if he's able to get 1 kill.
That's a spring MVP performance right there from Mir, baby. A reminder, he is the reigning MVP, and he has cemented himself into this game. They get the gold barely back in their favor. It was looking rough for them. It is still looking rough for Team Liquid. They do not have the scaling comp, but at least they have room to breathe.
Again, outers will fall, so TL can get some gold in their pockets before this upcoming Dragon. They have bot river control. They are playing through bot off this wave. Ryoma sticking top lane. He will take that top inner for himself. Love how disciplined King's staying here, hugging the top side of the map and staying behind the river, knowing that TL, they haven't showed yet. If he walks up, he could be victim. He needs to stay alive and sustain the poke for his team.
553 stacks for Arrow, who has still yet to pick up a kill. 560 after that wave. If Team Liquid get one big fight, if Arrow gets that big cash in, this should go to a game 3. EG have played it smooth so far, though. They just need to not give that play to Team Liquid.
TL trying to find Armeo, get him out. They have great vision on the bot side. It's now Surdy.
Teleport coming in. Surdy is away from the rest of the team. He flashes, jumps to the ward. Is he out of there? Everyone is committing onto the play. Paranoia used. Armeo goes in and just jumps right back out afterwards. That's a big cooldown that EG cannot play around now. Both teleports from Ryoma and King, as well as Paranoia from Armeo.
Surdy can TP back in. He's going to TP bot to stay grouped with his team and the Seraphine.
They'll have to go into the fight without that Paranoia, though. The fight is so much easier for Team Liquid to track and know what's happening if they can see what's physically happening. Evil Genius is still approaching with Seraphine, though. She can do a lot of work here with that encore. Kim down with the flank over the wall, gets onto Armeo. Bradley goes in to buy a lot of space with the team, and Team Liquid, I think they might be doing it. EG need to sustain back up. They have the Seraphine. King now leads the charge, walking forward. EG pushed Team Liquid off of the Dragon, and they will claim the third Dragon for themselves.
It was really well played from King. He found a 3-man encore, and the Seraphine isn't threatened, so those double W's coming in, topping off the rest of EG. Yeah, it was a lot of upfront damage from TL, but Diego doesn't get a single reset. Harry's gonna TP out, sync up his TP timer. Should be up, actually, before the next Baron. So he just gets some extra gold for TLC, but really well done by EG. The front to back with the Seraphine pays off as King hits the ult, makes sure that they can reset the fight, and you cannot go into the Seraphine again if you don't have those ultimates.
What a stressful game state we find ourselves in here, Cubby. Team Liquid Challengers,
Do or die.
the first seeded team, are being pushed to the brink. Arrow has 592 stacks on Draven, 97. 98. He has got a kill. He has not cashed in. If Arrow gets a kill, that's going to be just a completed build for Draven at that point. But EG are not giving them that fight.
He needs it, man. Like this Draven, if he doesn't get ahead, all you do is damage, and he's running out of steam. You can see the value of the Seraphine. If they don't move King, it's very difficult. Now, the positive for TL is that if Kim, he has flash up, Seraphine does not. I think that if Kim and Bradley can link up, they can take down that Seraphine first. That's who they need to remove. They want any chance of winning a fight against EG. Because at this point, I think we're too late into the game. Too many levels, too many items to actually move anyone on EG if Seraphine's alive.
Especially with that Cosmic Drive purchase as well. So King's going to be so fast getting around here, buffing up everybody with the cooldown, with the speed. You need the 100-0 King without the flash. If you're not able to do that before this Baron or during the Baron fight, again, we just keep saying it, the game's not going to get easier. You got to take these little inches that are presented to you. So eyes on Kim down, eyes on Bradley. How are they going to make this happen?
I mean, that's a great question. I think it's got to be just syncing up. Kim Down is the only member of his team that has flash up. We saw in Game 2 today of Wildcard versus FlyQuest Challengers that if the Viego and the Rel were synced up, could get the Viego some early resets and run fights from there. That's got to be it. That's got to be the winning game plan here. LDR completed for Arrow. Gonna do more damage to the big front line, as it's not a hole breaker for Surt. He actually did end up going that Sterix, and actually now has the Frozen Heart, which is very effective this game. I really like that item coming in. Looks like it's going to be a Randuin's as well, or another Frozen Heart for the Nocturne too. And I mean, if you decrease the damage, you buy time for Seraphine to get more W's off and top off your team.
And buy space for the engage to come through as well. Players like Smoothie would love to not get blown up as quickly if you're right next to that Nocturne after you go in. Team Liquid are trying to push the mid wave here. Baron is up. This could be the final fight of this game, maybe of this series, depending how it goes. If EG play this one out cleanly, they could close it out after a Baron like this.
I think we have more than one fight, but I think if Baron goes to EG, it is a doomsday scenario for TLC. That or Arrow falling at this point. Arrow has all the stacks. TL have cut off carved out a nice little pocket for them to try and fire poke into, but at this point, Jay's poke doesn't matter. You're going into a Seraphine. This poke's run out of gas. It has to be clean engages from TL. And as long as EG stay grouped, very much favor them. Is Seraphine the only person that really can change the game if Seraphine goes down from EG? And Seraphine was able to get that flash back up, so King able to play cautious enough to make sure that cooldown came back. That's big. Ryoma has top lane priority. Even if TL walks up here, Nocturne can always force an engage if anyone is split, and Bradley's a little bit cut off from his team.
He is. He's going to have to walk in the pit and body slam over to get out. He is hovering right now. What's Team Liquid's game plan? They're trying to hunt Ryoma here. Smoothie is covering. Kim Down on a deep flank right now. This could be a big move for Team Liquid. Flash in from Kim Down. Buster shot it away. Harry jumps onto Armeo, but a teleport coming in now from two members. The double TP. Lights go out. How can Team Liquid play this? King flashed over the wall. Gets the encore. Team Liquid's front line is faltering. Bradley flashes to safety, but Surdy takes him down with the flash onto the back line. And Evil Geniuses have done it! 7th seed, the dream! Triple kill to Wyoma! They don't need that Baron buff, because they just got a 5-for-0 ace, and they're taking this series 2-0!
No one wanted to face Evil Geniuses Challengers, and they prove why as the Seraphine comp holds strong. TL could not break it, and our 1 seed falls. The lower bracket, the chaos begins. FlyQuest and EG, you have a date next week. EG, you're in this one.
You will fear the Geniuses in the lower bracket run. 2-0 as Armeo takes down his previous 2 Chains teammates in the Cinderella run. Kami, do you believe in miracles?
EG continues to scale. And that was a good series. They played great. My heart goes out to TLC, man. They were our top team all year.
Yep.
But you faltered twice in this format. And I said coming in, this felt like the closest playoffs that we have had in Challengers in the 5 splits that I have been casting this league. It always felt like, we had 2 top teams that it was all going to come down to. C9 Dig last year, or last split, 100 Thieves TL the last couple of years. But this split, it really felt like we had 7 teams that could win. And EG proving that by taking down our top dogs after Fear, put them in the lower bracket. You got to be on your game this split of Challengers if you want to move forward. EG, better team today. They book a date with FlyQuest coming up here on Sunday.
And a reminder, we still have the upper bracket finals to play. This is the last best of 3 that we have of playoffs. But the top 2 teams still in the tournament have yet to even play their best of 5 versus each other. That will be coming up tomorrow. This playoffs is delivering, Cubby. The upsets, the miracle runs, the narratives are all rich, and I can't wait to hear from the players themselves because we will be sending it to a short break before we bring back Sierra with an interview of one of the victorious members from Evil Geniuses right after this.
The LCS Challengers League is brought to you by Turo, the world's largest car-sharing marketplace. Find your drive.
Hello, friends, and welcome to our Verizon post-game interview. Thank you, Serty, so much for sitting down and talking to me after that wonderful 2-0 victory that you guys had over Team Liquid. How are you feeling? You're moving on still.
I'm feeling pretty good. I honestly knew coming into today that this was what was going to happen. The team that we're with us, our team historically has only really lost to ourselves. Even our losses in the second round robin, we'd always have the game in a 1 position and then just end up throwing it for no reason. But we've been working really hard, specifically me, John, and Smoothie surrounding mid-game after our Fly series, because losing those games was unacceptable. And we put in the work and we're getting results. So.
Seeing the transformation that EGC has made has been absolutely amazing. So what has been, you listed a couple of things, but what do you think has been that biggest thing as a team moving on forward that has created this difference from a team that was kind of struggling before to find some footing?
I think it's as simple as the fact that my teammates started to enjoy playing League of Legends again. Because I started to enjoy playing the game, get more motivated, your mental's better. You actually take the steps that you need to in order to win games, and I'm just glad everybody's having a good time.
The team atmosphere that makes a big difference for sure. And do you think that you getting to join the roster made a difference, made a part in that, being able to?
I'm sure it did. I don't want to detract from the amount of effort that my teammates are putting in or anything like that though. They're all working extremely hard, and I'm really, really happy with the team that I have. But I'm definitely the best top laner in the league. It's not close. You saw what happened to Fake God and Bradley the last 2 times they versed me in the round robin. It's sad.
Hey, I'm glad that we get to see you out here and prove your stuff, because you're subbing for TLC before, and now you got to knock them out of the tournament. So how are you feeling about that? Is it a little bit sweet? Are you feeling vindicated?
Okay. I still some kind words to the players on TLC before the matches, because the team environment on TLC, what Spawn has done there is amazing. Complete credit to him. He does an awesome job. Dodo as well does an amazing job over at TL, and they create a really good atmosphere for the team. I became pretty fast friends. I'd go to the gym with Arrow and APA after scrims and everything like that, even though I wasn't actually playing. I give Bradley notes off of his matches to try and help him improve, because obviously I have God view, so it's easy for me to see some stuff he can. I'm sad that they got knocked out, but if it has to be between me and them, I'm always going to choose myself.
100%, that makes sense. And it's still the lower bracket. Things are still gonna be difficult going on forward.
Sure.
And next up, how are you feeling about your next match going up against Fly C, considering there's the one that did knock EGC down to this lower bracket?
Let's be real, they shouldn't have won that series. It was in our hands and we threw it. It's not going to happen again though. Like I said, we put in a lot of effort that night after those Fly C matches. I spent 8 hours with John and Smoothie and other people learning jungle and support map movements, so that I can actually more accurately progress games. And we're really on top of that, because that was a big area where my knowledge was lacking, and so got exposed. They won. Props to them, but it's not going to happen again.
Definitely excited for that rematch, especially with the transformation that the entirety of this roster has. It's honestly been so fantastic to see. Before you go, join up with them again. Do you have any final words? Any shout outs?
Shout out to Kelsey Moser and Rosron. They have helped our academy team a lot. Shout out to my coach Ido. He's, fun fact, been the longest standing coaching staff member on EG. There's a reason for that. He puts in the work. Yeah, just the people in the background who don't really get the attention for us winning, they deserve it.
100%. I'm excited to see what EGC can do in the future. Thank you for talking with me. Have a good rest of your night, okay, Sturdy?
You too. Have a good rest of your night.
Thank you. As for us, back over to the desk. A lot of praise and high words for the rest of the team here. And like honestly, this transformation has been so incredible to see. You can tell that the entirety of the roster is putting in work. And I mean, I feel like we've always said that this team has such talented players, and it's really cool, Kangas, to actually see like what they can do as they knock out the #1 seed in the tournament.
Yeah, I'm excited for everybody. At the beginning of playoffs, we did, or I guess after the first 2 days when we had a lower bracket, we did our predictions for which would be the dark horse that makes the deepest run through the lower bracket. The majority picked Evil Geniuses. Big surprise.
I didn't.
And now, hey, look at that. They did.
No, I didn't, because they didn't count as a dark horse, all right? This team was good. Calling them a dark horse is legitimately disrespectful. And we
mine
saw
got
that today.
eliminated round 1. So.
Yeah, I mean, it was against a good FlyQuest team, and yeah, I mean, Sturdy was right. In game 2, they were up 6K gold to like 15. They lost. Like, that's not a game you should lose. And EG, it feels like they have learned from some of those mistakes. They just 2-0'd in good fashion TLC, playing 3 lanes, a team that, we credited TLC by pioneering and having great macro. Like, we were running clips about how they play map. These guys know how to play map. They play it really well, but EGC, I like their drafts. They played out their win cons better than TL today. As Sturdy said, someone's got to move forward. I'm glad it was him, or he said, I'm glad it was me. Can't blame him for that one. They take down the top dog, and they earn a rematch against FlyC in a best of 5, so we can see exactly what they learned.
That's the exciting part, is always the rematches too. Especially too, I mean, the amount of work that the team's been putting in, the fact that, hey, the series shouldn't have been lost, but they've worked at how much effort's been put in. Breezy, I feel like this is a rematch that is going to go the distance.
Oh, I agree, actually. I think it's going to go 5 games. I think it's going to be a complete banger, and I think EG, they have a lot more to learn from this series because they lost, and they have a lot more to learn than FlyQuest, so I think I might favor them a little bit, but it's going to be a fun series for sure.
I cannot wait for this one. Fun fact also, if EGC make that run, like Breezy made me talk about, to win the championship, they would have had to go through the 1st seed, 2nd seed, and then beat 3rd and 4th seed along that path. Literally the top 4 teams to get to that point. So, yeah, you wouldn't be able to say that they're fraudulent at that point. EGC would be the real deal. But that's obviously looking very far in the future. Right now, it's FlyQuest Challengers ahead of them.
Like the one step at a time, all right? The one step at a time.
Excited now, yeah.
Hey, it's exciting stuff, but unfortunately, we do have to wait a little bit for that. So, fortunately, that is the end of today. Of course, many thanks to be had. First off, do want to be thanking one of our sponsors. LCS Challengers League is brought to you by Toro, world's largest car sharing marketplace, where you can get any car you want for just about any occasion, and you can forget about boring car rentals. Check out Toro.com. More thanks to be had, of course. Production, amazing as always for putting up with us. Kangas Cubby for being amazing as always. And Breezy, it was your first day on the Death Quest, and it was fantastic. Thank you so much. Big round of applause here.
Yeah, Breezy, give me a high five. I think it's going to be your left side. You ready? Oh.
I
you went to
that.
the camera.
I like that.
That's good, too. That works.
Hey, Breezy, but before we go, open up the floor to you. Like, anything you want to shout out, promote, Twitter, Twitch, anywhere we can follow you. Any parting words?
Sure. Just thank you for having me. It was a good time. I was a little bit nervous coming in, but you guys made it super easy, and I had fun, and I hope everyone liked it. And yeah, I think my Twitter's below me, but yeah, thank you for having me. It was a good time.
Breezy W's in chat, everybody. Spam the Breezy W's.
All right, the real final words. Did we scare you off, or might we maybe see you on broadcast again one day?
You'll definitely see me again.
All right, let's go. Let's go. All right, well, thanks everyone so much for tuning in. It has been an awesome day. Make sure to be tuning back in tomorrow, as we still have more League of Legends to be played, and this summer playoff bracket, it's already been heated up, but wow, it's getting even spicier going on for it. So make sure to be coming back tomorrow. You do not want to miss a single game. Have a safe night, everyone. See you then.